Dude, what are you making?
Today we are making jelly donuts, or as the Germans would call it, Krapfen, or easier, Berliners, which is funny because I am a Berliner. And as my parents always told me, a president from America came to Berlin and said, "Ich bin ein Berliner."
I take pride in the words, Ich bin ein Berliner.
Meaning, I am a Berliner, which people now always look back at it and laugh at him because he basically said, I am a jelly donut. But I think we all know what he meant. He meant he's a German. Okay, so to start this recipe, you're going to need 5 cups of flour, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 packets of yeast, which are each 7 grams, 1/4 cup of melted vegetable shortening. If you don't have vegetable shortening, you can just substitute the same amount of butter for vegetable shortening, 2 eggs, 1/4 cup melted butter, 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, and 1.5 cups of milk. You're also going to need some sort of mixing utensil, whatever you want to use. I'm using my KitchenAid and with a dough hook. You can also just use a hand mixer with a dough hook, or you can, if you're really up for it, you can use your arm for it. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your warm milk and your yeast and combine them. And then with a spoon, you're just going to stir it around so it's all nice and combined. And then you're just going to set it aside and wait till it's activated. And while that is activating, we can already combine some of our ingredients in the bowl.
So we're going to take the flour, add it in the bowl, our sugar, our salt, our eggs, our butter, and our shortening. And the shortening has passed into the bowl.
It's not liquid anymore. Okay, so now you're going to take your melted vegetable shortening and also just add it to the bowl. And then you're just going to give it a slight stirring. Let's smell it and see if our yeast has started. Oh, yeah, it has definitely started. So you're just going to add this mixture to the bowl.
It smells like dirty feet.
Or like Mom farted. So once you've added this all to the bowl, you're going to take your dough hook and attach it to your KitchenAid or your stand mixer or whatever you want to use. And you're just going to pop the bowl underneath it, lock it, make sure everything is in place. And now you're just going to let this stir for 5 minutes or till it's a nice dough. Okay, so now I'm just gonna lift the KitchenAid. It's a little sticky, but that is fine. Just gonna take the bowl. Finally, okay. So now you're just gonna let this rest for about till it's doubled in size, which is about like between 1 and 3 hours. So you're just gonna let it rest. I'm just gonna put a kitchen towel over it. Let's see if our dough is ready. Whoa! As you can see, our dough has doubled in size. So now we're just gonna deflate it so there's not as much air in it. So you just push down with your hand a little bit. And there it deflates. And now, you can do it a little more. And now we're gonna take some of our flour and we're gonna dust our work surface with some all-purpose flour. That's good. Spread it out. And now we're gonna take our dough and just let it fall onto the surface. And now we're gonna roll this dough. You're just gonna use your hands and squish it down a little. And now we're gonna roll out the dough to about 1/2 inch thick is equal to about 1.5 centimeters. You can do this with your hand. I'm just gonna go for a rolling pin. Okay, so now, okay, I'm just gonna flip it so we make sure. Oh, see, it's sticking.
How do you keep it from sticking?
You just add more flour. So this is something I've learned a lot. You just always need to use more flour than you think. So now we're gonna use, we don't have a round cookie cutter, so we're just gonna use a mug that is a diameter of 4 inches or 10 centimeters. And then we're also gonna just go for 1 or 2 gingerbread men because it's Christmas time, guys. Okay, so you're just gonna plop it down, twist a little. So now I'll just peel all this dough away. Okay, so let's set that aside. We'll do more out of those. Where's the spatula? So now we're just gonna go onto our spatula. Carry them over here to our baking sheet that we have lined with baking paper. Okay, so now we're just gonna take the same towel we just used, just cover up the baking sheet, and we're just gonna set it onto our kitchen table, and then we'll come back to them in about an hour or till they've risen a little more. So yeah, so we'll have more. Okay, so now let's take a look at these. They've been rising for about 1.5 hours. Whoa, they puffed up so much, they look great. Whoa. Okay, well, I guess we'll have XXL Berliner. We have heated the oil, and we don't have a candy thermometer, so we're just gonna do it a different way. So when you insert a wooden spoon or something, it should form bubbles around it, and that's when we know it's ready. I don't think it's ready yet. Oh, we'll let it heat up a tiny bit more. Okay, so the sugar's here because when we take them out of the oil, we can just dunk them straight into the sugar, and then it'll stick to the donut nicely. And now we're gonna get another plate and put paper towels on top of it. So then after we coat it in the sugar, we can just put it on top of that, and then the oil will just go onto the paper towel instead of go everywhere. Now we're gonna. So what you're going to do, we're going to put them into the oil on each side for about 2 minutes or till they're a nice golden brown color.
Scoop them right off of here. Just plop one in. We'll go for 2.
Okay, so 2 minutes have passed about. So now we're going to take our tongs and just flip them over to the other side. And they are perfectly golden brown. It's great. Okay, so the other side is cooked now. So we're just gonna take them out. They all drip off a little bit. Now I'm just gonna dunk them in the sugar. And it's not too bad if you don't cover every part of it, because we're gonna fill them and then we're gonna, with the jam, and then we'll dunk them in sugar again. Okay, so we have this piping bag with this longish tip with like a short spout in this, so this is good for filling the donuts. So I'm just gonna put this in a glass. That's just an easy way to fill the donuts. Now we're gonna take the strawberry jam, and you want to try and not get the strawberry jam with chunks in it, otherwise it won't come out the end. Okay, so now you're gonna take like a lollipop stick or just a wood pick or something. Just gonna take the donut and just kind of poke a hole inside of it and like jiggle it around the inside a little. And now you're gonna take your piping bag and just stick the end in there. So you're just gonna wanna push a little in there. And then you just come out. Oh, okay. There we go. And now we're gonna inject the brain of the gingerbread man. It's just coming out the top. Okay, now we've got the taste test. I got my sister here, so we're just gonna try them. Those are really good. You guys want some? Okay, now we got the parents at the taste test.
Hot damn.
Super. Echte Berliner, wa?